Tonight's episode of the Sunday Night Talk is here. Me and Omar Carmona are in the studio talking sports, talking our lives. A lot happened this week in the NFL. We discuss it. We do big picture. We talk Sunday night game. We talk other games. I got a new game for you in general. We've done versions of this in the past. However, new spin on it this week. You're not going to want to miss it. See how Omar does with this game. And then, of course, we do the awards, who won the week, and the Monday night questions. That segment is gaining a lot of steam. Before we get to the episode, I want to remind you, you can see me doing stand-up comedy November 21st. I will be at the Hollywood Improv performing in the lab on Brian McDaniel's comedy show. That'll be a great one. And I want to take the time to thank everybody who came out to Let's Ride Cyclery this last Friday in Burbank for the comedy show. That was an awesome lineup. That was a packed house. So if you came to that, I want to thank you for coming because it was fun. I was glad to do it. Got to talk some bicycles with the employees, other comics, some hot CO2 cartridge talk. Either that or the other comics were completely bored out of their mind as I pontificated to them. Anyway, on to the show. Week 7 is in the books, highs and lows, a couple head scratchers as well. So what do? We got to have the Sunday Night Talk. That's right. And it starts right now. Let's go. All right, it is 8:27 West Coast time, just wrapped up. Sunday Night Football, Dolphins versus Steelers. Omar Carmona joins me. He is in the man cave. He took a hard loss this week. Carmona Law, how are you?
Not well. We had the America's Game of the Week, and it was a pitiful performance. The season is over for the 49ers.
Oh my God. Come on. I am not going to start there. That's too dark. You're sitting in a dark room. Your Niners lost the game, but I don't want to start there. Let's try and keep the attitudes up for a little bit because your team lost. My team won.
Yeah.
And had such a convincing win that I had a fun Sunday that I have a bit of a change for you. So just bear with me 1 second.
What's going on here? This is the anticipation.
All right, I am in such a good mood.
Oh wow, look at
that
you.
I decided to go full celebration head today.
Good for you. You deserve it. That's a good win.
Yeah, well, let's just start with the Sunday. I'm watching the Raider game and we score a touchdown at the end of the first half.
Right.
And then we get to go to the half having scored a great touchdown on a great drive. I think that was the happiest I've been in 3 years. He scored a touchdown, and it's like halftime, and we're like, "Oh, we're playing good! Like this is the best ever." What a feeling!
That was great, and what a performance by your running back.
The running was so good. I mean, part of it. I don't want to get too excited. We played Houston, but shouldn't everybody get to play Houston at some point? That was great. That was great fun.
You want to play teams like you want to dominate those games. And sometimes even though there's a win, you play these teams with an inferior record and on paper just inferior. And, even when you win a close game, it's still kind of a loss, very demoralizing. So when you play a team like Houston, who, hopefully they show some improvement. And, I know they got draft picks coming up and they're definitely going to have to build for the future. But being the opposing team, you want to dominate those games. It just gives you it's a good week. You prepared. You were expected to win. You took care of business. On to the next game. So that's still a big win.
Yeah, I have more thoughts on it coming up. So let's just start with the Sunday night game we just watched. Was this a good game? I'm watching it.
It wasn't a great game, but here, if you're an NFL purist and historian, it's great that the 50-year anniversary of the 1972 Miami Dolphins. These guys are getting so much older. When I was a kid, I remember Larry Zonka, but he was already old. He was doing
Yeah.
American Gladiators on Saturday mornings, and
That's right. He was
with
an
Mike
announcer.
Adamle. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, 72 Dolphins was before our time. So
Yeah,
it was just like a relic, like told to us by our parents and stuff. So I have no feelings about the 72 Dolphins other than I knew it was a big deal and this game started out and it was one of the only games where they actually televised the coin toss part of it.
yeah. It
'Cause-
seemed like a lot more nostalgia on this game, and I don't know. Remember when I guess when Marino was playing when we were kids? It seemed like the Dolphins spent a lot of time on national TV, right? And
yeah.
like, tonight I got the feeling it's like, wow, I hardly see these guys on national TV.
Right. Yeah. It seems like we've seen every single play of the Denver Broncos this year. We
I
haven't seen
know.
a lot of Dolphins, and the storylines going into it was that Tua is back. I think everybody was a little gun shy about Tua being back, even though they didn't want to say it. So they televised the coin toss. He's shaking hands, like by visually looking at Tua, he seems like the nicest guy ever. He's like hugging all the 72 Dolphins players, big smile. Tua is back. And then a great uniform matchup. You know I
I
love my
did.
uniform
It was
matchups.
that was very nostalgic. And
Yeah.
you talk about a uniform that's never going to change, nor should it, is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I hope not.
I've always, when I was a kid, I didn't like that there was the logo was on one side of the helmet, but not the other.
That was confusing.
As I got older, I think I appreciated it more. Um, and then of course to see the Dolphins that they did their transitions, but it looks like they've gone back to their more retro look. And
Yeah,
so,
I think they did a throwback. Like I don't think they wear that all the time, right? They have
so then I
another
think
one.
they should. I think they should then.
Oh yeah, they should. That's a good like it not only is it a good retro jersey, like it's a good Miami jersey. It's got the bright color, it's
Yeah.
teal. It is Miami, so I
Yeah,
would
that like that
going there.
aquamarine, blue green kind of,
Yeah.
teal and very very nice uniform, and I do appreciate that the uniform matchup tonight.
Getting into this game tonight, I don't think I've seen a better opening drive from a team ever. That
Right?
opening Miami drive was awesome.
Yeah. It was
Even
almost
Collinsworth
it was
gave
it
it
was
a
al-
wow.
it was almost as impressive as the 49ers opening drive today against the Kansas City Chiefs, but we'll talk about that later. But
All
no,
right.
it was an impressive drive. Miami, they just got burners, Waddle and Tyreek Hill. I think they're a team that's coming up.
Even though there was no points in the second half, did you feel like there was a chance Trubisky was going to come in relief at some point?
Uh,
Collinsworth and Tarico even talked about it a little bit. They're like,
I
well,
know.
Trubisky was a starter in the offseason. He did the 2-minute drill.
Yeah,
They talk about him to come. Did you think there was any chance of him coming in? Because I thought there was a chance.
I think that Mike Tomlin has now seen enough of the Mitch Trubisky, sample set. I don't think he sees a future, playoff run with Trubisky. So you might as well give Cody Pickett the reps at this point and go with him. When you think about it, Roethlisberger was sort of thrown into it, when he was a rookie. So I don't have a problem with Cody Pickett getting thrown into the mix early.
No, I have no problem either. I just think it'd be fun for Trubisky to just constantly be threatening to come in the game.
I don't like that he'd be looking over a guy's shoulder like that.
I also thought it was funny as the broadcast starts, Miami goes down, gets the 7-point opening drive, and then Pittsburgh's offense comes out, and Tirico says, Pittsburgh's offense, not an explosive team.
Right.
I really feel like Tirico and Collinsworth really had to earn their money this week. They were talking about, Collinsworth is talking about how, I think it's the head coach of the Dolphins, Mike, he really knows how to deal with young people. Like, you got to know how to talk to young people.
Right.
Like, what is this statement you're making, Chris Collinsworth? You got to know how to talk to young people. So that I feel like they were really, really trying hard in this game, and no points in the second half too. So that's tough as well. We keep cutting to shots of the 72 Dolphins in the box. So we had that going. And then, like I said, I wrote 2 times in my notes, is this a good game? ? And each time it was followed by an interception.
Right. And
Both times.
I got a little, I was thinking, wow, it'd be something on national TV if Cody Pickett on the road can drive this team on the final drive. He actually had a few chances in the fourth quarter but he, just, inexperience, and it's not like there's a ton of talent around him in Pittsburgh right now.
I feel that final drive there was enough though, because he converted that fourth down. Under, like, not after a timeout, just in the huddle, then fourth down. He converted it, and then he blew it. There was a couple throws in between, but he blew it with a bad INT, which he could have kept it and ran for 10 plus yards. So just when this game threatened to be good, it got horrible. And then my last note, which I thought was really funny, I don't know if Chris Collinsworth is bored with Tirico or they secretly don't like each other, but at one point, Tirico goes, Mike, do you, or Chris Collinsworth, do you dress up for Halloween? And Collinsworth goes, I don't know. He just leaves him hanging. Just like, is there no yes and? Like, don't leave your partner hanging like that.
That was a little, but look, they're still getting their timing. You know what I mean?
How long is it going to take to just, like, if someone throws something out there, don't step on his line?
Collinsworth spent so much time with Al Michaels, and be patient there.
All right. That's my performer in me thinking, like, why are you just leaving me hanging when I throw something out there? And you just go, I don't know, Mike. Where do you stand on the Tua coming back? Because I am fucking anxious when that dude ran in the first half and goes head first.
He doesn't learn, and it looks like he's got like a death wish or something. You know what I mean? It's like he's still lowering his head, and
yes,
for the life. And to me, to be honest with you, at some point, I think the coach has to, like, pull rank and yank him off the field and said, "Dude, you can't play like this. You're not only a threat to yourself, but you're a threat to your team at this point." I mean, we got a lot of guys earning a salary here, and they're trying to earn spots down the road on the Dolphins roster, or just their place in the NFL, and I think. Things mess up when you get backups thrown in and, have to come off the bench, and everyone's affected by it. So I think it's to be running like that. I thought it was a little irresponsible.
One head first run in the first half, one head first run in the second half. Collinsworth even says, as a parent, I got to think, like, do I have all the information to go back in? I'm like, okay, there's no way Tua didn't go through practice and they didn't tell him. No head first. You got to slide or, like, just throw it away. It's not worth it as well. And then Collinsworth had this weird line where he said, like, as a parent, they asked Tua's parents, do you feel comfortable? Or Tua asked his parents, do you feel comfortable with me going in the game? And Tua said their response was, I don't know. I'm like, what was that? What is this? I don't know how I felt about that. I'm on pins and needles every time he drops back and the first read isn't there, and then there's a beat, and you're like, oh, he's gonna get hit again, or he's gonna run, and I don't want to watch this. We can't watch this anymore.
Yeah.
Where did you stand on watching him play? Did you get nervous like me, or was it in your head?
I was very nervous, and again, I just think that there was a level of irresponsibility on it, and that's why I think that somebody has to call, put a call into the coach. He's got to come out. He can't be there.
Or why not split time? At least split time with another QB. I'm still shocked that this isn't a bigger story. The first few weeks he had the concussion, then he had the horrific concussion that Thursday night game, and it just seems like yeah, he's back, and right. We're just sort of like, okay. Of all the stories in the NFL that we have overblown over the years, how is this not talked about? How is it, like, are we rushing him back? I don't understand. I didn't get it. And it really affected the way I watched him play.
Really? It really did.
Jeez. I don't know. Beyond that, I don't know where this game really stands. Pittsburgh doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Miami, we're still in no man's land with Miami. They win. That being said, Tua played good. He had great throws.
Very good.
His receivers are on. He has a good tight end. So overall, this is a win, even though I feel like, do you feel Tua's going to finish this season?
I don't know that.
Right. I don't know what to
I don't
answer
know.
either.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. But again, I think this is one where you're gonna have to look at the tape and you're gonna have to figure out what's happening. Because this isn't gonna be able to go on.
Yeah. If I were like, I even cringe at the idea if I were to say, like, if I'm a betting man, does Tua come out of the game again with another injury this season?
Right, and it's possible.
I would say, yeah, I'll bet on that. He's compromised, and I don't like watching it. I don't know what the point is. Like we said a few weeks ago, like, I don't think he should play again this season.
Yeah. So
yeah, like it's not even overbearing parenting award yet. This is just
this is on another level.
This is just a topic that like needs to be addressed.
We could be talking about a life and death situation here. I hate to say it, but it's bad.
If we see him get his head bonked again and he's on the sideline getting checked out, I mean, there's no way. The NFL is playing with fire right now.
That famous concussion doctor that they did the movie about with Will Smith, and I don't want to even try to say his name because I know I'm going to butcher it, but he flat out said he needs to retire after that hit.
Yeah,
and I think to say something like that, like for a doctor to say, yeah, I've seen enough. He takes another hit like that, it's over.
Yeah, and we're like in 10 years from now, we're going to be saying like, oh, we were playing football with this limited amount of knowledge. Like we don't really have a full handle on what a concussion does to the brain. Small concussions, because I don't think they really study the effects of CTE. It has to be post-mortem. So I don't think you can get in there and see any effects on the brain while the person is, you can't do an MRI. It's these cognitive tests. And I say that having done no research. So, it's important stuff.
That's clearly.
I'm very well versed on this. That was my main story from Sunday night. Otherwise, it was a fun game. I enjoyed watching it, but I don't feel like these were our elites of the elites playing each other.
It wasn't
this week. I'm glad Tua's okay. I got a few headlines before we get into the games. Number one, I listened to the early games on the radio again. And you know my disdain for Bill Likas.
I know. I know.
Am I? I don't know if I'm alone on this.
You're not out of pocket here.
Okay. Well, I'm listening to the game on the radio, and I don't know what team it was, but they score a touchdown. And they're doing the thing where like, let's go to New York. And like, Bill, the Jets scored a touchdown. They're up 7-0. They go back to Bill Likas and he says, the great thing about two things great about the touchdown is number one, you get a touchdown. And number two, you got to,
it's
7 points.
With the extra.
What? Again, I don't want to hammer on poor Bill Likas. That was horrible. It's a horrible observation. The thing about a touchdown is you get a touchdown. Okay, I'm going to give you three teams I'm going to give you my three best teams right now. And I want you to tell me where you think these three teams end up in the season. My three best are Bills, Chiefs, Eagles. How far are the Bills going to go?
I'm still with you. I think they're all the way. They're an all the way team.
Make the Super Bowl? Win the Super Bowl? How far is it?
They are my Super Bowl pick.
Chiefs?
Chiefs are going to be in the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to make the championship game.
Really?
They will
lose in the conference.
They will
lose in the divisional?
In the divisional.
Oh, wow. Eagles.
Eagles will lose in the divisional.
Okay. I'm with you on the Bills. I think they're just blessed this year.
Top to bottom.
I think so. Chiefs, maybe they beat the Chiefs in the conference. Eagles, I see a slide. So did you say divisional? I can see them losing divisional also. Okay. These are the bottom, not bottom three, but maybes.
Okay.
These are three maybes. Tell me how far you think these three maybes after this week. Let's go Raiders. What do you think?
I don't think and I'm not hating on them. I don't think they make the playoffs.
Oh, not even make it.
Yeah, and they'll be one of those like final weekend, 2 weekend teams. They'll need like, okay, Raiders need a Cincinnati loss, a Pittsburgh loss, one of those. They'll be at the end, but I don't think they'll make the playoffs. They'll be the first team out. I think they have them. I have them first team out. And there's a reason. And I know I know you don't want to hear that.
You know I have my party wig on.
Yeah, you got your party wig. I think I'm drinking the Haterade. But I'm telling you, something about these in both conferences, the East divisions right now, all 8 teams playing some decent football. We got that, it's possible that division in the AFC East may have 3 playoff.
Right. It could be really hard to get that wild card this year.
One of those Miami Jets, and then obviously the Bills we think are going to run and it's so, and the Patriots are creeping back there, so we'll see, we'll see.
Okay. Cowboys.
They'll make the playoffs.
How far are they going?
They don't win a playoff game.
Oh, losing the wild card round or
another
divisional?
A wild card.
49ers. You already said they're done. They're not even making the playoffs.
They're done.
Man, they're so down.
They're not going to make the playoffs. They won't even be first out. They're done.
Talking about the 49ers, though, okay, take this game out of your memory. They trade for McCaffrey. They give up a bunch of draft picks for him. So they're in the mindset of, let's win now. Let's win this season. Where do you stand on McCaffrey coming to the Niners and they're showing today? Because they played good in that game for 3.5 quarters. Two huge third down conversions by the Chiefs killed them.
It's just, here's the thing. You give up draft picks, and I get it. We have a lot of draft picks, okay? And so we can't afford, certain splurges like this. But again, this all goes back to, okay, you may have the nicest things, you know what I mean? But if your foundation is weak, I'm sorry, it takes a lot of value off that house, right? I mean, if you're, it may look good, Patrick, but if the roof sucks and it leaks, well, then you got a problem,
What's the roof in this analogy? Sorry, you lost me. Who's the roof?
It's Jimmy G. The roof is Jimmy G. He's the foundation. It's the most important part.
Wait, he's the foundation or he's the roof? I'm losing you. You're losing me on these housing analogies.
He's important, Patrick. He's important.
Sorry,
okay?
But is he he's the roof of the house or he's the foundation of the house?
Everything. He's both.
He's both. He's the framework.
He's the framework.
What about coaching though? Does coaching factor in here? Would we be better off with a better QB than Jimmy G? Same coach?
I think the same coach would do wonders with a talent like Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Kittle, Wilson. I think a coach would do great, but at the end of the day, we got to give the keys to the car. Now I'm on a car, not a house. It's a car. We got to give the car keys to Jimmy G, and I'm just not comfortable with that.
You can't put premium gasoline inside of a car with 4 bald tires.
There you go.
All right. That's something. I tried. Okay. Special edition, 2 teams. New York teams, Jets and Giants.
Wow.
Where's each one going?
Oh, I think both could make the playoffs. I think the Jets have a better chance to make the playoffs.
Oh, you're okay right now. More Jets or more Giants? Where are you putting your money?
Right now, just because of the way things are turning, I like the Jets. The Jets win. However, I think they took an injury today. I think one of their rookie running backs who had a lot of promise. He looks like he's going to be done for the year. But they can win some ugly games, and who knows? Again, I think the problem with the Giants is they've had a very, very easy schedule. Um, again, they're winning games, so I don't want to knock them. But I think I like more what I'm seeing from the Jets, and I think there's a lot more competition for the Giants. Um, so I think the tides are trending more in favor of the Jets, but I could see both making the playoffs, but more likely the Jets.
Okay.
How about you? What are you thinking on New York?
I got a little more weight on the Giants. I don't know. Maybe I watched more Giants than Jets today, but Barkley is so good on the Giants, and even Daniel Jones was a little fiery on the sideline. They got the coach that's like cheering. He's hugging everybody. I'm a little more Giants than Jets right now, and I just hope. Can you imagine if the Giants and Jets are both in the playoffs? I'm not saying they're going to meet each other in the Super Bowl, but say like they both win their opening round. Can you imagine the talk that would be if we go, like we always hear Subway Series in baseball? Can you imagine if we just the possibility of some Jets and Giants potential playing each other in the Super Bowl? That'd be nuts.
Yeah.
That'd be absolutely crazy.
I mean, yeah,
not going to happen, but I'm just imagine it for a second.
Would be nice though. That'd be nice.
All right, that was our big picture headlines. So let's go to the games this Sunday, and let's just start off with yours and my game. Let's start with Houston at Las Vegas Raiders. Coming off the bye after a miserable loss, Houston comes into Vegas, and like I told you, I had one of the funnest Sundays in 3 years because they won. Yeah, and they were in control most of the game. They were behind at one point, but Vegas is running the ball. Vegas is an old school team in this game. They're running the ball every single down, and it's like run, and then one long pass, touchdown. That's it. So, yeah, and I wrote it down like they had that touchdown at the end of the first half, and there's going to the sideline. That Hollins guy is smiling. Everybody's handshaking and high-fiving. It was the best feeling ever. It was the best thing ever to go into a halftime with the touchdown. And even though they played really, really good, like there was some Houston self-destruction.
Yeah, there was.
This was a great game to play Houston. Houston has a false start on 4th and 1, so they punt it. Then Vegas has a 4th down, and they jump off sides. Yeah. So Houston is just shooting themselves in the foot all day long. But all that being said, Houston converts a 4th and 9 with 5 minutes left in the 4th. I instantly start to get nervous. I'm like, oh shit, they're coming back. I have such a defeatist attitude to it. And I'm like, oh, I'm nervous. I'm already nervous. And then we have the huge pick 6 INT. And then that's it. I'm as happy as we are. And thus why I have the party wig on.
Hey, enjoy the party wig. Enjoy it. Who do they got next week?
I believe they have the Saints. The season gets very favorable for the Raiders. It's Saints, it's Jaguars. So if they can string together a few, this is a team that could be scary in the early rounds of the playoffs. Denver stinks. Chiefs. I'm not saying the Chiefs are sliding in any way, but I feel the Chiefs are beatable.
I think so.
Chargers lost today.
Oh, and that's another team that's kind of disappointing me. If I
really disappointing today, the Chargers.
Yeah, today just not impressive on a game I thought they should have won.
They go down early, and they're just struggling the whole time. Passes from Herbert are getting tipped at the line.
Yeah,
I don't know how this happened. He's 6'4".
They got to figure something out because they're disappointing me right now. But let's see what happens.
And then they had that, like the whole game was weird because they had that bad injury that medics were out on the field for 10 plus minutes. I'm watching it, and they went to 2 commercial breaks just with people on the field carting this guy off. I think he had a dislocation.
Yeah.
And the whole game was disjointed with injuries. And in my favorite, Mark Sanchez was on the call too. So it was just an odd game. And the Chargers are wearing navy blue now.
Yeah.
And we're dancing around how bad the Chargers were, but maybe Seattle's tough. Maybe Geno Smith has got something here.
Geno Smith, I saw it's like a revenge tour. I guess he's beating up on And that's great for him. But yeah, they're winning games too.
Yes. So Seattle a little bit on the coming up. Pete Carroll 2.0.
There you go.
Smith. All right, let's go to your game. Let's have a talk about your game. Kansas City at San Francisco, the now Christian McCaffrey edition. They even said at the beginning, like, well, he went to Stanford. This is a bit of a homecoming. Oh. And I buy in right away. I'm like, that's right. It is a homecoming. You're still out on Jimmy G.
I'm out of the season because I'm done with Jimmy G. We're not going to win. He's not going to win.
Well, what's going to happen now? They gave away all their draft picks.
They've given away draft picks again.
We're going to trade for Aaron Rodgers.
And then it's like, yeah, and then exactly. And then like those stupid rumors come out and, we just got to figure out this quarterback. Now, don't get me wrong. I think the 49ers, again, have been hurt. I mean, look it up. Look at the injuries. Their starters, yes, we did have some people coming back today, but gosh, we get hurt a lot. But then a stat that did concern me: Kyle Shanahan 1-29. If he's trailing in the starting the fourth quarter, that we're just never gonna come back.
No. There was that one drive where it was just an absolute Kittle fest. He's so awesome, and like Garoppolo's hitting him, and Kittle's running for extra yards. And they give you those little flashes where you start to believe. And then Garoppolo holds the ball too long. He gets sacked. Or those 2 third downs.
Yeah.
By the Chiefs. They converted a 3rd and 9 and a 3rd and 11 or something for huge chunks.
Sure.
And just everything is gone. Everything is gone as far as the motivation goes. So KC wins that. You're completely down on San Francisco.
Done. We're done. Don't want to talk about it.
They're done. They're done forever.
We're done.
Is that why you're sitting in a dark room?
I'm in a dark room.
You're in a dark room emotionally?
The sun is not shining. I'm in a very dark place.
All right. I don't know if I should poke at that or not. I'm going to come back to that at some point.
Let's just let it go.
Where did you stand on the 49ers white pants?
Loved them.
Really?
Loved them.
They have a lot of uniform combinations. It doesn't seem like we talk about it that much.
Yeah, no, they do, but I love the uniforms today.
Yeah, home uniform, white pants. Well, like hypothetical corner, what if Garoppolo and Christian McCaffrey just like had an awesome day like together? Say they still lost, but they lost by like it was a 1-score game. Like what would be the hype? It would be huge.
Yeah.
If it'd be like once they played the Chiefs, that's a tough team. Once they get it going, like once they practice more, they're going to be on fire. And also like, what did McCaffrey get traded on Tuesday or Wednesday? He's on the field on Sunday. Is it?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, there's going to be some adjusting. I mean, again, the talent's there. That when you have Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey lining up together with George Kittle playing tight end, and Ayuk and other receivers, you have an arsenal. Juszczyk, the best fullback in football. You have some matchup issues. You're gonna have some mismatches. But if Jimmy G is not gonna get him the ball with an accurate throw, what's the point?
Well, I texted you during the game saying, why don't they just make Jimmy G a running quarterback? Like, would that really be that crazy of an idea at this point? Nah. Like, let him do some options or something, or let him do some quarterback. When's the last time we saw a quarterback draw? I don't think we ever see a quarterback draw. They should like change it up. I don't know about that, Jimmy G. Look at you. You're so despondent.
There's a rookie, Brock Purdy, Iowa State, I believe. Let's give him the ball next week. Hot take.
Oh, who is this guy? I don't even know him. He's a backup on the Niners.
Brock Purdy will start a game this season.
Jeez, what a roller coaster the Niners have been on this year, where they're going to start Trey Lance over Jimmy G. And then we're like, well, we got insurance. And then people are like, well, you can't keep him on the team. And then what happens? They get bailed out. He gets injured. Jimmy G comes in for like 1 or 2 games, plays good. And now we're back to this. I don't think we ever are going to have an answer to the Jimmy G conundrum. I don't get it. Niners are struggling. Let's go to the early games. I'll speed through these. Atlanta at Cincinnati. Cincinnati finally
Oh,
looks good. The
they look
Mariota
good.
bubble has officially
At first,
bursted.
let's move on. Let's not spend too much time on Atlanta.
Do you
I
know
know.
his stat line?
No, how what was it?
No, I'm going to have you guess. How many passes do you think Mariota threw? Attempts. How many pass attempts do you think he had?
20.
Mariota had 13 pass attempts this
Oh
game.
wow.
He went 8 for 13, 124 yards, 1 touchdown. So I think the Mariota flash in the pan is just like he's like a comet. You just sort of see him every 6 weeks, and then that's it. Cincinnati finally looks good. Maybe they're on the upswing, and they're doing it quietly. I think that's the best way to be on an upswing.
I think so too. I think
we're
that
like, wait a second, 5 wins in a row.
I think people talked about the Super Bowl hangover. So now's the time to sneak out a run and try to get back there. And Joe Burrow, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Joe Burrow. He's definitely their franchise quarterback. So I could see a deep run, and I could see Cincinnati being a candidate to taking out one of the Chiefs in the division round.
That's a top three. Bills, Chiefs, Bengals could be our top three. Yeah, Bengals big win. Not exactly party wig big win, but they got a good one. 35-17. That's a big win. Detroit at Dallas. This was an early game.
A boring game.
I'm watching it and I'm like, why the hell are Nance and Romo calling this game? And then I look at the slate and all the early games were boring.
Yeah.
And they're like, this was actually the best game for them to call.
Yeah.
So Detroit at Dallas. Dak returns.
Dak returns, but not impressed, right? Not impressed?
No. He did very, very little. I got a stat. 19 for 25, 207 yards, 1 touchdown. But the good news is you didn't need to be great. You're playing Detroit. I think the defense dominated the game as well.
They were bad. The only big note there, Amon St. Brown took a nasty shot, and I hope he's okay. But he's probably going to be in concussion protocol for a while.
So Dallas is 5-2 now. Detroit 1-5. Do we think Dan Campbell makes it to the end of the season?
He'll make it to the end, but he won't come back. The sad thing though is, sucks for me, but I could see a D'Amico Ryans coordinator, that defensive coordinator, although not a great performance today against the Chiefs, but I could see D'Amico Ryans getting a shot at the Detroit Lions.
It's weird. Like I bought into the Hard Knocks propaganda. I wanted them to be good so bad. Just because I watched Hard Knocks and I listened to 2 motivational speeches and I'm like, yeah, let's go Detroit. This is the year. Jared Goff. Detroit just can't help but shoot themselves in the foot.
Right.
Picks, penalties. Let's move on from that. Dallas gets a win, 5-2 now, off of Philly's loss last week. Now we go to Indianapolis at Tennessee. Tennessee wins 19-10, already an odd score. This was another one I listened to on the radio, and I listened to the Tennessee affiliate, and it was 2 country dudes.
Yes.
Doing the broadcast. And it was great. I got to say, it was great. The guy's like, we got there. Tannehill drops on back. He puts it right there in the numbers. And I'm like, remember my idea where like all the broadcast teams should broadcast the same game? And then you, the viewer, choose which broadcast team you want. Right, like, I want Aikman Buck. I want Mark Sanchez. I want whatever. Okay, new idea. Now we have country broadcast team. We have black guy broadcast team, and then we have Mexican guy broadcast team. You choose the one you want, and we get to hear country guy or we hear Mexican guy broadcast team. What about that? We go regional.
That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting.
Yes. Other than that, I didn't really watch the game. I have no idea what happened.
Right. But yeah, how bad does Matt Ryan look right now?
I didn't buy into last week, Matt Ryan. I knew that was a 1 week thing.
How about he doesn't look good. So
he looks like he has the flu too, like he lost weight or something. He looks gaunt. Here's a fun game, unless you have more thoughts on Tennessee.
No.
Green Bay at
Washington.
One of the more head scratching games.
Well, how about here's the thing, Pat, is it really a head scratching game? I mean,
maybe it's not.
Devontae Adams and uh, what
Look at you. You're out of words.
you get rid of Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams leaves. Okay, questionable whether he wanted to be with Aaron Rodgers anymore, or if he really loves Derek Carr that much. But anyway, but there's really no targets around for Aaron Rodgers. So are we really surprised that they're in a struggle with the Commanders? I'm not shocked.
Yeah.
I'm also more surprised that Heineke had a really good game against the Packers defense. So I think that was a good win for the Commanders, and I'm a huge Riverboat Ron Rivera fan. Huge Riverboat.
Yeah, because I thought his coaching career was on a clock.
Well, it could be, but also we may be talking new ownership in Washington pretty soon, and so his job, I think he's living day to day too.
Yeah, that whole organization is in a mess.
Yeah.
I listened to the reporter who's done the timeline on Dan Snyder, and I don't think Dan Snyder's going anywhere. It's an interest. I don't know how much of the details you know about this, but the thinking is that the owners want to vote him out, want the ability to vote out another owner. Okay, if that happens, now the precedent exists that owners can vote out other owners. So, and Jerry Jones is the one that said, like, I don't know if we should be able to do this because it is very slippery slope now if the owners can do that.
Yeah.
Now in this reporter's timeline or in this reporter's report, Dan Snyder does not do any communicating via the team, and his own organization voted that his wife be the one who deals with other owners, things like that. And she is much more easy to work with, according to this report. So there's that. Now, these are just the day-to-day things. Now there's a bunch of allegations. There's allegations on Dan Snyder. One of them really bad on a private jet involving, I think, another team employee, a female team employee. So by all intents and purposes, this guy is just a bad dude. He's extremely combative.
You hear things like that. I forget. I want to say which player or coach was it that they go in for an interview, and that even they said, I'm gonna have to pass on them because apparently he showed up in like his golf outfit to an interview. And my guy, the players here, the coaches, they're thinking, wow, so you're not even in the office today. It's like you just came down here for this interview and you're going to go hit the golf course afterwards. Well, it's kind of like, is that the environment, that you want to run? And so, yeah, it comes as no surprise, but they have been the worst franchise professionally of all the major sports teams. You can argue the Clippers at one point were toxic, and then obviously I think the Phoenix Suns recently had Dallas Mavericks has had bad publicity, but you can make the argument that this this Washington of the last 20 some odd years, 22 years, it's been the worst franchise in sports.
It has been. There's a difference between being bad professionally and being bad in as far as like he's got the allegations, but he is just so difficult to work with, according to this report, starting from the year the Super Bowl was being vetted, and it came down to Washington and the new stadium in Arizona, and the NFL sided with Arizona. And according to this report, Dan Snyder takes it personal, and he is extremely mad, and he's difficult to work with. And then he had buyers for the new stadium, and nothing worked. It fell apart. At one point, he proposed a stadium that would seat 55,000 people.
Right.
And this is not an NFL stadium. This is not a viable option. And it's almost like he's doing things to piss people off.
Right.
So it's not even like, it's not even a debate like, oh, some things work, some things don't. And he's just difficult to work with. So now we're at the conundrum of the owner saying like, can we get this guy out? Do we have the power to get him out? And if we do, now who's going to come after me? So the precedent of owners voting on another owner, I think, is the standstill here. If I were an owner, I would say like, yeah, we can't do that. How can we force them to sell? I don't know. I have no idea. But the victim here is the Washington organization and the fans. They're so bad.
I know, and it's it's such a remember how proud Washington at the time Redskin fans were, proud of their Joe Gibbs and of
Hmm.
the Hogs and the class acts of Art
Yeah, they were one of the marquee teams.
Art Monk for all those years. Who else? Doug Williams, the first black quarterback to win. I mean, there was just so much of a class franchise, and their success was in the '80s, and it was with Ron Reagan, in Washington. It just seems like Washington was the center of football
Yeah.
for a lot of years, and it's so sad. It's they how far they've fallen.
Yeah, it's like anybody who says like the biggest problem with Dan Snyder is his unwillingness to change the Redskins name. That's the least of the complaints. That is way down the list of other things that you can get mad at. I never understood the name. I didn't care if they kept it. I didn't care if they didn't keep it. It never offended me. By the way, I never heard that term used in a derogatory sense ever. I've only heard that term with the football team. I've only heard Redskins and associate with a football team. And then my argument was always, if that term is demeaning, why would an organization ever name their team that? it was it was a name that was to be admirable, to honor them. But that's the least of the Dan Snyder problems. He's got bigger problems than that. And
Big problems.
I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I think they're still going to be mad at him. I think he's still going to be bad for the organization, and he's going to hang on to that team with his cold dead hands.
No, it's gonna be
So,
bad. It's an ugly situation.
last notes on Green Bay, Washington. Aaron Rodgers' body language is now the best thing to watch. He's
Oh, tell me what happened. I did see that after the hot potato play, he just went down, face first, and I'm done. More like he had no life right now to
Yeah,
get up
that's
and
how he looks. He has this blank stare on his face where like he's like the dad and he's not mad. He's disappointed in everything. He gives these odd press conferences too where like a reporter asks him like where does this put you with your record and moving forward, and he says like this might be good for us. Like what are you talking about? What are you talking about, Aaron Rodgers? You're so mysterious. Like what's going on in your head? By the way, that last play, that little flea flicker play, that almost worked.
it. Hey,
It almost worked.
there was one point where a guy was running down with it. It was the player before Rogers got the ball.
Yeah.
And it looked like he had some space. Like he went about 30, 20 to 30
Hmm.
yards. I was thinking, wow. I mean, he's, considering that they advanced from how far they advanced it, I'm like, wow, there could be something here if you go to the other side. But that off, when the ball's up in the air and you got an offensive lineman waiting for it, it can't be good, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not a
Well,
good thing.
ironically, the worst lateral in that whole series was Aaron Rodgers's because at some
Yeah,
point they lateral to him and he throws it across the field to a lineman and he shorts it. It bounces and the lineman can't go down low and catch. It goes out of bounds. So I'm like, oh, this could have been fun. Ironically, the worst lateral was Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball.
yeah.
That was fun. Here's another head scratcher. Tampa Bay, Carolina,
Oh,
21-3. Surprise of the week for me. Look at the week Carolina had. Interim head coach. They kick Robbie Anderson off the team.
right.
Their QB's name is PJ. That's odd for me. Tom Brady throws for 290 yards. They score 3 points. And it's almost like the beginning of that game when Brady throws the bomb to Mike Evans and he drops it. It was like, oh, we're losing this game. This is not our day.
Well,
We're
how
going to
about
score
this?
3 points and
Mike
that's
Ev-
going to be it.
Mike Evans doesn't look well. He just looks miserable. He's in pain. He's not playing well. They got other receivers, but they're hurt. I think Brady losing Gronk as a safety blanket tight end, that hurts Brady.
Yeah.
You're talking Gronkowski, arguably, that's going to be a good debate on a national holiday, a tight end week or day that we had today. We should
That's
talk
right. It
about.
was National Tight End Week.
We should have a little list of who the greatest of all time are, but arguably not. Gronk not being there. I don't know. Do you think that Brady shops for another team if he doesn't see life in Tampa Bay anymore? What do you
Mm.
think, or is it I'm done?
I think he's pushing management for not a trade for him to leave. He wants a player to come to Tampa Bay. So I say he's pushing management to, hey, let's get a guy or two in here before the trade deadline, and let's inject some new life. We saw it last year with Odell Beckham and the Rams. We saw it last year with Von Miller and the Rams. Two players that put that team over the edge last year, mid-season.
Right.
And so I think a trade can be a big, big advantage to a team halfway through the year. So I think he's lobbying for, like, give me another weapon, or let's improve where we're weak. Let's get someone in here. So I don't think he wants to go at the end of the season. That being said, who knows? I mean, he's got so much going on. This could be it. Does he really want to deal with this? Or is it going to be like, hey, I'm finally divorced. Now I can really focus on football. I'm going to be here for another 5 to 7, boys. Who knows? We can't get in these guys' heads as much as, like, you can enter all the logic you want into it. These guys are not logical sometimes.
Right.
They're going to do whatever it takes to stay in there. Head scratching game. They're 3-4 at Tampa Bay. So playoffs still possible. One trade, someone's going to win the trade deadline. Every year, someone's going to be like, oh, they got them in the trade line. That team won the trade deadline.
You know, and why Tampa Bay shouldn't panic, because, like, they're still probably one of the weakest divisions in football.
Right,
you know,
that's true.
The Saints, Falcons, Panthers, I don't think anybody would call them a favorite to make a deep playoff run come January. So don't panic. They're still very much in the thick of things in that division.
Yeah, maybe it's a throwaway game. Maybe it's like, don't worry about it. Next game, New York Giants, New York at Jacksonville. Giants are 6-1.
And an ugly win today, but sometimes you like the team ugly, you know?
Right.
Let the team win ugly, and sometimes you got to win ugly. And
maybe they're just win ugly team. There's always that team that just wins everything.
And ugly. You know what? I don't mind. I've told you there's certain teams in football that they make the league more interesting, and the New York Football Giants are one of those franchises that when they're playing well, and you just love when they're beating up on the Eagles, the Commanders, and the Cowboys, you know, the rivalries they've had with the 49ers and, you know, the Bears in past years. It's fun football, and I this coach what is it? Dabble.
I don't know his name.
Dabble.
Well, that's right.
He comes from Buffalo, so he knows what it's like to work for a good organization these last few years. I think he's the perfect coach for this Giants team.
What a month for New York. October, best month for New York. I recently watched the movie You Got Mail with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, and it's all about New York in the fall. I'm like, this is the greatest time for New York. Their teams are winning. It's fall. It's so great. They're like, there's fans in the stands wearing T-shirts of the head coach's face. It's the best.
Well, it's funny you say that, and as you're saying that, the Astros just made the final out to beat the New York Yankees. So the Astros and the Philadelphia Phillies will be the World Series this year. Yankees and Mets did not perform well, high expectations. But hey, Giants, Jets are winning, so now New York fans can focus on the football season.
Yeah, focus on football, like right into it. That's all we needed, with just a little bit of baseball, transition into football, and both teams are good. You know New York is pumped when I'm watching the broadcast and they're comparing the Daniel Jones subdued attitude to that of Eli Manning. They're like, well, Eli didn't show a lot of emotion. We're all in on this team. We're comparing him to Eli Manning. And then at some point, Daniel Jones gets kind of fiery on the sidelines. He's high-fiving people. And in the broadcast...
he's an emotional guy.
This was the most emotion I ever seen out of him. The coach is hitting him on the chest, and he's doing like the head bob. And then I love when networks do this. They go to commercial playing Counting Crows, Mr. Jones.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, hell yeah. We love this guy. And then of all heartbreaks, Jacksonville actually makes a drive and gets stopped on the 1 yard line. And the clock runs out. Jesus. Why did the receiver run 1 yard short? But maybe the Giants have magic up their sleeves all year long.
Maybe.
Cleveland at Baltimore. This game really came down to penalties and a blocked field goal. And I know that because I didn't even watch the game. I didn't even know this game was going on.
Yeah, but hey, another team. Now here's a team. I think that Lamar Jackson will also make another huge stride in his career this year. I could see a deep playoff run with Lamar Jackson.
Oh, you're sweet on the Ravens now. What are they,
I'm getting a little.
4-3? Four and
I
three.
am. They're 4-3, but I'm getting a little sweet on them. So don't take them out quite yet.
Another one on the quiet upswing.
Browns disappointing team, but a lot has to do with I think their decisions they've made at quarterback these last few years. Again, as
They
much
got
respect,
Deshaun coming back in what,
yeah, I hope,
2 weeks?
yeah, but I hope
No,
that
maybe more. I
I think
forgot
it's
what it
more. I
was.
think it's 11 games. I thought,
That's right. Yeah, it's
and
11.
so it's going to be a while. But nonetheless, I appreciate what Jacoby Brissett's trying to do, but you know, they're just not a great team right now. But I am liking what the Ravens are doing, and I think that Bengals Ravens those matchups down the road, they're going to be interesting.
Yeah, we were kind of joking that the Browns won the trade war in the offseason with getting rid of Baker. Now they got Deshaun. Then he gets suspended. And then the league says, nah, it's not enough. We give him 11 weeks. You got to do it, Brissett. They really like almost should say like, well, just take the whole year off,
Right,
Deshaun. Just get healthy. Just get healthy. Or maybe just come in a little bit at the end and treat the end of the season as your preseason. Get some reps in. So last game, New York Jets at Denver. I didn't want to watch this game out of spite.
no,
I've seen too much Denver. Why was Denver on every single primetime game
I don't know, but I'm
this year?
glad.
Russell Wilson didn't even play this game.
How about that? How about
He's
that?
injured. Ugh.
You
There's
got
another one that might have lost the offseason is the Broncos / Russell Wilson.
it's God, you're looking at these franchises that have made some real head scratching decisions at quarterback, and is the quarterback position in trouble, Patrick? Talking to a former high school quarterback himself, is it Mariota, Carson Wentz getting big money, Matt Ryan, Jimmy G, although it looks like he was starting because the injury to their presumptive starter. So that sucks. It's just some real head scratching. Paying Russell Wilson all this money. Maybe it's one of those things. Focus on the draft. Really focus on the draft, and maybe there's a Jalen Hurts, a Tua out there that you can do. I'm not saying they're Hall of Fame quarterbacks. I'm not saying that. Daniel Jones is, but you draft these guys and develop them and spend time. You just can't throw $235 million on a guy like Russell Wilson and really see a huge future.
Yeah. Denver's one that really struggled with the QB over the last 10 years. With
Well,
all
yeah,
the
after Peyton Manning, after his run,
right. So
you
they
know,
were like, we need a marquee guy. And it seems like they might have gotten Russell Wilson. Because if you were to say, like, oh, he's got 2, maybe 3 good years left in him, hasn't shown yet. First year head coach, I think you need to factor that in. But he hasn't been Russ running around making plays. Maybe he's been injured. Maybe the injury is the reason.
I think he likes his selfies and all that. His social media presence. I question his gut right now.
Ooh, a little daggers coming out for Russell Wilson. Did we get all the games? Yes, we did. You took the big loss. I got party wig excitement in me. Interesting week in the NFL. It was fun. Those early games were fun, I gotta say.
It was great, great time.
Well, that does it for other games. Now, as we do every week before we get to the awards, we play a game. This week's game, you remember a couple weeks ago, we did the audio Ask My Mom football questions.
Yes.
Always a hit. Now, I thought I would take the game up a notch. Not only did I ask my mom more questions, but these are non-football questions.
Okay.
So, another round of questions for Ask Pat's Mom. I'm going
Okay.
to play some questions for you, and you're going to guess if my mom's answers to these.
All right.
So,
Let's do this.
all right, let's start it out. Here we go. What Sex and the City character are you most like? Okay, did you hear the question?
I did.
What do you think?
I don't think she watched Sex in the City.
Oh no, my mom was a big Sex and the City watcher.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I am. Well, I don't
Do
even know.
you know the characters of Sex and the City? First of all, did you ever watch the show?
Yes. I would say she would feel more like the one that Cynthia Nixon played.
Um, that is Miranda.
Miranda.
Gonna go Miranda. Okay, let's see.
Okay. Um, I would say a little bit of Charlotte and a little bit of Miranda.
Okay.
Can I go?
No, you gotta pick one. Look at my mom already trying to skirt the rules of the game. She's picking
I mean,
two
that
characters.
would give her a 50% chance.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no. Don't worry. Also, my mom is hoarse in this recording. Like my mom partied too much the day before. She lost her voice.
Okay.
But yet, look at she powered through. Okay, don't worry. I pressed her. I'm gonna keep playing.
I'm gonna go with Miranda.
There you go.
You got it. All right, point for you. You got the first one. My mom most identified with Miranda. Okay. Oprah or Dr. Laura? Okay. Does my mom go for one or the other? Oprah or Dr. Laura?
She's going to go for Oprah.
Oh, really? Do you know who Dr. Laura is?
Yes, Schlesinger, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. You know. It's a bit of a deeper cut into my mom's interest. She was a big Dr. Laura person.
Oh,
Big
wait a
Doc-
minute. Are we talking about who she would feel more comfortable with? Or are we talking what show she would want to listen to, like, for entertainment purposes?
I just threw it out there, like, Mom, Oprah or Dr. Laura. That was the sole question. It wasn't. It wasn't anything specific.
Okay, so let me preface my answer then. That's only
Okay.
fair because it wasn't a specific question. If it's the person she feels comfortable with, like to hang out with or to be, it's going to be Oprah. But your mom also likes watching a lot of Scandal on TV. So
That's
if that's
true.
the case, she's going to go for Dr. Laura for entertainment purposes. Roll it.
So what's your pick, though?
But your question wasn't specific.
It's well, you got to guess from that. Oh, Mom,
She's going to say
or
Oprah.
Dr.
She's going to
Laura?
say Oprah. She's going to say Oprah.
Okay, you're going Oprah. All right.
Oh, so much. Oh, so good. I'm gonna say Oprah.
Yeah.
You got it. All right, 2 in a row. 2 in a row. I like how you know my mom enough that she likes Scandal. Like she can't get away.
Oh, it's because her and I when we have dinner over here in El Paso with with your dad and my wife, we just gossip. It's two ladies gossiping.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I forget how much time you actually spend with my parents absent of me. So, yeah, my mom's a big Yenta. Don't ever discount that. She wants to know stuff. She wants to gossip.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, you're right. Good call. Good call on that one. All right, let's continue. You're 2 for 2 so far. Have you ever gone to a frat party? Okay. What do you think? Has my mom ever gone to a frat party?
Yes.
Okay. Any reason why you go with yes?
I want to say that your parents were dating, and they were invited to a campus kegger at a frat house. So yes,
Jeez, wow.
they went as a couple.
I don't know if I want to picture that.
So they were both well behaved.
Wow.
They were in courting.
Okay. So you're going yes, final answer?
Yes, final answer.
Never.
Never.
Never. She's a strong never.
Your dad is hitting the books.
Yeah. I purposely did these questions with my mom, with my dad not in the room.
Okay.
Because you know my dad will try and influence the questions and the answers. So he's not in the room. This is just pure Irma Ramirez answering questions. All right, next question.
Never. Not in my entire life have I ever gone to a frat party.
Wow.
Never. Sad. No, never.
Okay, hypothetical question.
Okay.
You are leading a youth church group and notice there's a strip club on the route. Do you A, change the route immediately, B, continue the route but try and distract the group by quoting a Bible verse. Or C, say we are all God's children. Okay, a little bit of a thinker on this one. What would my mom do if there was a strip club?
She would prefer to have the distraction.
That was B?
B.
That was B. Okay.
Final answer.
By the way, I could totally see this happening. My mom leading some sort of group and a strip club being on the route sort of thing.
B.
Totally could see this happening.
we're all God's children.
Oh, she went
Oh.
all God's children.
I figured she wouldn't want to have that conversation because I could see my son asking like, hey, what's that? And I could see like, let's quote a Bible verse. Wow, she really surprised me with...
True.
She wouldn't want to have that conversation.
You know, if this actually happened, I might say her actions might be different. Like she's saying what she would do, but
right?
You never quite know what you're going to do until you're in the situation.
Right.
But she said she would say, we're all God's children, including strippers.
Let's drive on by.
Okay.
Absolutely.
See, she's already kind of nervous about it, answering the question. She's already uncomfortable with the thought of strip club.
Got a story.
Would you ever tweet at a celebrity? Okay. Would my mom ever tweet at a celebrity?
No.
You're saying no. My mom is a big gossip. Also, I remember one Lent, my mom gave up People magazine for Lent. I don't know. I don't know how many people are so addicted to People magazine. My mom had to give it up. So, will my mom ever tweet at a celebrity?
No.
Okay.
Never.
Never.
All right, you nailed it. Never. Not even a no. She was like, never.
Never.
Do that shit. Never. My mom would never tweet at a celebrity. All right?
Never. Never.
Look, she's mad about it.
Never. Probably not.
And then she said probably. All right. Can you name 2 actors who have played the role of Batman?
Oh.
Okay.
Yes, she can. She's gonna name Michael Keaton for sure.
Okay.
Can
she get the second one?
I could see her naming Clooney. I want to
How
rank
many actors can you get? Go ahead. You try and answer this one. How many can you get?
Adam West. I can go Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale.
I think that's all of them, right?
Ben Affleck.
Oh, Affleck. Yeah, I would have forgot that one. Good one.
And the Twilight kid.
Oh, yeah, him too. I would have forgot Affleck and the Twilight guy.
Yeah.
I knew you weren't going to leave out Kilmer. I knew you knew that one.
Yeah.
All right.
Big Kilmer. You know, I was a big Kilmer fan.
What's your favorite Kilmer movie?
Good question. A movie that it's one of those movies that I will not. Kilmer's got a lot of movies that I don't like turning off. The Saint, I love.
Oh, you were a big Saint guy, even at the time. Yeah. That movie, I feel like if it did 30% better, that was a franchise. That was like a Born Identity type. And it just didn't happen. Maybe it was Kilmer's fault. Maybe it was the movie's fault. But I'm with you. That's an enjoyable movie. Like Peak Elizabeth Shue, too.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Smoker.
Jesus. I wish there was a Saint, too. I'm with you.
Yeah. Kilmer. Thunderheart. Not a great movie, but I did like. I will keep watching it.
Don't know that one.
Check out Thunderheart.
Tombstone? Where do you stand on his Tombstone?
Huge Tombstone fan. Huge
good in
Tombstone fan. So see, Val Kilmer's on a lot of these that I would keep. If I see him on TV, I'm gonna watch.
Okay. I can't argue with that. I'm a big Val Kilmer guy too. Heat. I mean, put at the top of my list every day. Heat. So good. The action is worth the juice. All right. But can my mom name 2 Batmans? Let's find out.
Yeah.
You said yes.
Yeah.
George Clooney.
I got that one.
And
Michael Keaton.
God,
She
who
knows.
was the obvious one, the first one.
Yeah, she knows Michael Keaton. She said first one.
Oh God.
She said first one. That's the one.
Stop yelling at my mom. This is recording.
Wow. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, but it was the first one was the best one.
She didn't know. She only knew
If she
George
knew it was Michael
Clooney.
Keaton, I'd get the win.
Come on. She didn't. You got to say the name. You can't just say the
He
first
said
one.
the first one.
The first one could have been Adam West.
Oh,
I'm the
yeah,
commissioner of
sure.
this game. Don't go old Dan Snyder on me. Sean Connery,
Yeah.
George Clooney, or Barry Manilow? Who would you leave Dad for?
Okay.
Okay, now this is a tough one.
Barry Manilow. What was B?
It was George Clooney, Sean Connery, or Barry Manilow. Who would my
She's
mom?
gonna pick Clooney.
Who would my mom leave my dad for? You're going Clooney.
Clooney.
Okay. This is the final question, by the way. Here we go. Look at my mom's outraged.
George Clooney.
Easy.
And I have to leave Dad for him?
You gotta pick one.
I gotta pick one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who would you leave
Okay.
Dad
Now
for?
we all know that Barry Manilow is gay, right? Okay.
How about that? My mom says Barry Manilow's gay.
Is that a hot take? Is that a hot take?
Oh, I'm gonna make a note of that. I'm gonna add my mom to hot take award is Barry Manilow's gay. Okay, here we go.
So yeah, I mean,
Okay.
so I can't go Barry Manilow.
Wow.
Okay, George Clooney. Who was the other one?
Sean Connery,
No.
George Clooney, or Barry Manilow?
Yeah, George Clooney plays a lot of pranks, so I don't want to. Oh God.
Ah,
Hmm.
interesting.
Connery's really old. You know what? I'm gonna
I
go.
think Sean
Barry.
Connery's dead.
Did you hear that? She went Barry Manilow.
Music, sex. I'll go Barry Manilow.
Who would you leave Dad for? Sean Connery, George Clooney, or Barry Manilow?
Barry Manilow.
Wow.
We got it.
So she circled back.
Sex. Yeah. Her first answer was, well, Barry Manilow's gay. 2.5 minutes later, I'll go Barry Manilow.
Interesting.
I know. See, my mom is full of surprises. You can't really guess her answers quite like you would think. So if it came down to it, my mom would leave my dad for Barry Manilow.
Okay.
Weird.
Okay.
A weird game. I don't know how comfortable I am playing this game, but I think it was a hit.
I liked it.
Yeah, that was Ask My Mom non-football questions. First ever non-football edition.
Okay, nice.
Sometimes you play a game and you end up with more questions than when you started.
Yeah, for sure.
That leads us to the awards for the week. This one, for some reason, I had a bunch of nominees all the way around. In a week that really not a lot of stuff happened yet, I had a lot of thoughts. Okay, first award of the week, the Overbearing Parent Award. I have 3 nominees. Number 1, Tua, goes without saying. I think he's going to be Overbearing Parent Award until the end of the season.
Until he's shut down for the year. Yeah, probably.
He's nominee number 1. Number 2, Overbearing Parent. Tough week for Tom Brady. I say Tom Brady's dad gives him a call and goes, "Hey, son, you want to have a beer?" He has that, hey, your marriage is falling apart. You lost a tough game. You know those commercials? Do you ever see that commercial where like the son has his own family and he's washing dishes, and then the dad like brings him a Heineken or something and they wash the dishes? I think it's like one of those where the dad he's like, I got to go talk to my boy for a little bit. And then finally, nominee, Christian McCaffrey's parents, I say go full San Francisco at every home game, wearing all the gear now because they love him in Northern California.
Well, remember Ed McCaffrey, Christian's father, was part of that last
right, yeah.
49er championship team.
Yes, so I got Tua's parents. I can overbearing parent Tua, Tom Brady, or I can infiltrate the McCaffrey parents.
No, and I'm gonna go. That's a 3-way.
Or write in your own.
No, that's a 3-way tie. All of the overbearing parents, no doubt, this week. Obviously, in Tua's situation, I think that's more of a life or death kind of thing. Really do. But so
he's just a perennial nominee. Let's just keep him for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
In there,
until he's shut down. We'll just have to shelve that.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Tom Brady dad conversation,
Yeah,
just because I think that's going to be a good heart to heart.
Yeah, and it may need to happen.
It may, yeah. It's kind of one of those moments where even though Tom Brady's grown, he still needs to have a dad talk from his dad, even as an adult. You know, like the old man still has to distribute some wisdom to him. So I'm going to go with that one. Tom Brady's dad has a beer with him. Award number 2, the Hot Take of the Week award. We already heard that my mom's hot take is Barry Manilow is gay. My hot take, I don't know how you're going to react to this. I'm going to say it anyway. San Francisco makes the playoffs.
No.
I say they right the ship. Look at your face. Why are you mad when I am saying your team's going to do well?
Because you want to get my hopes up. You want to get my hopes up. and so I'm not going to fall for it.
Get your hopes up. What's wrong with getting your hopes up?
No, it's not because I'm going to
Come on. You can have a party week too. I'm
going to be miserable again. It's not looking good. So it's over. It's over.
Look at that. This prediction made you mad. All right. What's your hot take award for the week?
My hot take, the Super Bowl champion is going to come out from one of the divisional Easts. East.
Oh, AFC East or NFC East?
Or NFC East. Yes, sir.
Hot take. Oh, okay. I don't even know if that's that hot. I think that makes a lot of sense. Next award, the Cringeworthy Award. I have 3 nominees. Every 2-0 run. I get scared. Aaron Rodgers press conferences. He does these press conferences and you're just like, what's he going to say now? Like, it could be anything. He's like, I think this is good for us. Aaron Rodgers, you just lost to the Commanders.
Right.
Nothing good. And then one more cringeworthy award. I don't know if you watched the halftime show of Sunday Night Football. Did you see Tony Dungy's ear?
Yeah.
I thought he was wearing a Halloween costume Spock ear.
I wonder what was going on there.
Okay, you noticed it too then, right? It looked big.
Yeah.
So those are my nominees. Every 2-0 run, Aaron Rodgers press conferences, Tony Dungy's ear.
Okay.
What do you think? Or write in your own. What do you got? Cringeworthy award of the week.
The ear. It's Halloween season.
Me too. Ear. Definitely ear. It's now I kept waiting for him to say, like, are they wearing Halloween costumes? Now it's too early for Halloween. I'm going to Tony Dungy's wrestler cauliflower ear. That brings us to Would You Rather. And this one's special for this Sunday night game because we had the 17-0 Dolphins on the field. So, as you know, the Dolphins went 17-0, 1972. The only team to get close to this was the New England Patriots, who went 18-1. So, Omar, would you rather go 17-0 or 18-1?
17-0.
Really? How come? Make the case.
Because that means you won the championship, and it's all about the championship, right? I mean, there's not going to be a moment like that in football down the road in 50, in 40 some odd years or whenever, 38 years for the that Patriots team.
Yeah, we still talk about it today. The 18-1 we don't really talk about.
Right. So we don't really talk. It's and really the only reason to talk about it is just because Tom Brady's still around.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is you want that you
want the ring.
That's better.
Even if you go 10-0 versus 20-1.
Because
you want the final championship.
The best analogy I can think of was in basketball. That Golden State Warriors team, back in 2016, they went 73-9. That was one game better than that best Bulls run in '96, and nobody really acknowledges it as the best team. Yeah,
that's true.
One game because Michael Jordan took care of business in 6 games.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, you got to win the championship.
Gotta win.
I'm with you. The Eli Manning / future Daniel Jones team took him down. Next category, the Ethan Hunt You've Never Seen Me Upset Award. Which Tom Cruise movie most represents this week in the NFL? I have 2 this week.
Oh, let's go.
Number 1, And this is largely based on the Sunday night game. Eyes Wide Shut is a movie I couldn't wait to see, yet I didn't really want to watch it when it was playing. It was weird. It was awkward. Tua is weird and awkward. I couldn't really sit through it. So I got Eyes Wide Shut based on Tua mainly. Then I got Risky Business. We got Tua playing. That's risky.
Oh, that was very risky.
That was risky. We got Houston converted 4th and 9 against my Raiders. I got nervous, so that was a little risky as well. But at the end of Risky Business, Joel pulls it all off. So ultimately, I think Risky Business is my answer because the Raiders pulled it off, even though it got a little dicey in there. Risky Business, I think, is my pick for the week.
I'm going to go with, I like the Eyes Wide Shut, but that was based on Jimmy G's performance.
That's true. You could go Jimmy G, Eyes Wide Shut.
Niner season is done because I believe his eyes are shut when he's throwing the football, and that's why he can't hit a single target. Eyes Wide Shut, Jimmy G.
That was a weird time when that movie came out. We're like, is there nudity in this movie? Is Tom Cruise, what is he in this? I seen it. I don't understand it still. I still don't know what the hell's going on in that movie.
No, it's a crazy movie.
They're wearing masks, and I didn't get it. Okay, last award of the week. Who won the week? I have 3 nominees. The 17-0 Dolphins, not using the analytics. We had no analytics discussions this week. Or Miami as a night game. Shots of South Beach, the lights. People are walking around in short sleeves. Those are my 3 nominees. 17-0 Dolphins, the non-use of analytics, and Miami as a night game.
Who won the week? New York teams. New York football teams creating a buzz. They're playing very, very good football. And an honorable mention, Heineke out of Washington to get a big win over Aaron Rodgers.
That's not bad. Yeah.
That was pretty special.
Every time a quarterback steps in and gets a win, they should be a nominee for who won the week.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 17-0 Dolphins because it seems like we talk about them every single year for the last 50 years. Yeah. So they got a Sunday night showcase. They're on the field with their gold jackets. The Dolphins actually win. Tua is not injured. I'm going to go 17-0 Dolphins won the week.
Okay, I like it.
All right, that was week 7 in the NFL. However, the week is not over. As you know, Omar, there is a Monday night game. It is the Chicago Bears versus the New England Patriots. Monday Night Football is here. Leads us to the questions. Are you ready, Omar?
I'm ready.
Question number 1. Will you watch this game, but only use it as an excuse to hide from your family?
I will watch this game. I can't. Tomorrow I got playoffs, baseball playoffs. My son is in the baseball playoffs, so we got a game tomorrow night. I won't be watching the game, period.
In order to win the game, should the Bears' game plan be run heavy or pass heavy?
Oh, run heavy. You're gonna have to run because you're not gonna beat a Bill Belichick team with Fields' arm.
Will you consider one day living in Chicago because they are very liberal?
I think I said that last week. Yes, I will.
Oh, wow. So much unveiled on the Monday Night Questions. Over under 5 years from now, will Bill Belichick be the coach of the Patriots?
I want to give him 2. So
under.
Way under.
Favorite Boston movie, The Town, Good Will Hunting, Fever Pitch, or The Departed?
The Departed!
Wow. Excellent. You nailed it again. However, a couple more just because I want to hear your answer. Favorite New England player, any sport?
Larry Bird.
Favorite Chicago player, any sport?
Michael Jordan.
Ah, okay. And pick the game. Chicago at New England.
I'm going to go New England 19, Chicago 6.
Wow. Is Frank Zappa the backup quarterback starting for New England again? Zappy.
Zappy. I think Zappa. I think Jones.
Zappa.
I think Jones is going to start.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong.
All right. What a week. This was the Sunday Night Talk for me, Patrick Ramirez, for Omar Carmona.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Another one in the books. See you next week, Omar. Thanks.
Later, buddy.
That is it. That is the show. That is the Sunday Night Talk for week 7. I want to thank Omar Carmona for, I don't know, doing the show in the depths of his despair. His 49ers are down, buried, cremated, cast off to sea, according to him. What is his deep problem with Jimmy G? Everybody seems to like him but Omar. I don't know. I'm going to try and crack him. I'm going to crack Omar sometime this season. Figure out what's going on with him and Jimmy G. There's still time. There's still time for everybody's team at this point. Except for maybe Houston. I don't know. There's still time for everybody. Hey, don't forget, see me doing live stand-up comedy November 21st at the Hollywood Improv, performing at the Lab, and more dates coming. More interviews coming on the Running It Back channel as well. So if you're new to the channel, give it a subscribe. All the shows are on there. All the interviews, stand-up clips as well. So for week 7 on Sunday Night Talk, for Omar Carmona and myself, Patrick Ramirez, I will see you next week. Be safe.